get out there and do it. I mean, especially young people, like this is the best time. You're never going to have as much opportunity and as few responsibilities as you do now. So
ain't that the truth?
I guess that would be my biggest thing is,
hey guys, welcome back to the Millionaire Misfits podcast. Our mission is to help turn everyday misfits like us into millionaires like our guests. If you want financial freedom, quitting the day job, traveling the world, and complete control over your time, you're in the right place. In the studio today, we got my good buddy, Isaac Gabbert, owner of Redline Roofing. This dude is crushing his goals and he's in his 20s. You guys, he's making me look bad. So let's get into it. Dan, tell him a little bit more about what you liked about Isaac.
Isaac's a beast, man. He dropped out of college, realized what he wanted to go after, and just started doing it. He started in trades and just basically decided he wanted to do this on his own and started doing it and has crushed it.
He is fearless too.
The guy has no chill. Like he is always going after his goals. He talks a lot about his mindsets and fears and stuff like that, or lack thereof. Yeah.
If you ever wondered what a combination of someone that is super hard worker and a super smart worker looks like, this is the episode for you.
Yeah, he's super young, super motivational.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, welcome back to another episode. We have Isaac Gabbert in the studio today. We're going to be talking business and also a little bit of real estate. So let's dive right into it. Excited to have you. Thanks for coming on, man. I know you're a busy dude, especially in the summers. So thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
This is what, your 100th episode of a podcast? 200th? Like, I know you're an in-demand guy.
This will be the first one.
But dude, that's awesome. So you might not have a lot of experience with podcasts, but I know you are crushing in business and you've done a lot of real estate for a guy your age. So give us a little bit of background on who you are, what got you into business, and then a little bit about real estate in like a quick 30, 60-second deal.
So let's start with what do you do? What do you do now?
So now it's primarily roofing. So we rebranded this winter as Redline Roofing, and I picked up a partner. So that will be a new endeavor now that we're getting into more than just roofing with windows and siding.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that. So Redline. Okay, because you were a Fargo Star, right?
Yep. There's just a few too many companies with Fargo and Star in the name. Probably about 5 or 6 of them now in the area. So
okay.
Changed the name there, and then I guess flipping houses, done a few of those. Tried to get into development, but the city of Horace, it wasn't worthwhile.
Oh, we could spend a whole hour just talking about that.
I could talk about that for hours, and I didn't even get all the way with it. But
oh my God.
So kind of abandoned that, but I actually just picked up another house today and then still have another flip going on. So I kind of bounce back and forth, winters for flips and summer for roofing, but I didn't plan on flipping anymore. But
you just found too good of a deal.
Good enough deals, and then just that development's not worth the headache.
Dang.
So,
okay.
That's cool though. Multiple things. That's awesome.
So your main jam is roofing.
Yep.
Okay, and then you've been at that for a few years now, right?
Yep. This will be our 4th full season. Last year we did just shy of 200 projects, mostly residential, 10, 15 apartments, and then the rest were houses. But we were pretty busy coming out of a hailstorm. So
whoa, 200 projects.
Yeah, like roofs.
That's crazy. Did you go to school or trade school or anything like that? How'd you get into roofing?
So roofing was originally just a summer job when we were getting out of high school and in college. Did that with a few buddies for 2 summers, and then we just kind of, work atmosphere wasn't the greatest. So
we were just like, this is easy.
Yeah. So I got my paperwork, and then we basically were like, we do enough side jobs in theory, we would do better off. And then it kind of just picked up from there, and I wanted to stick with it instead of go back to school. So went back, dropped out that same semester. And
how many years of school did you do?
I was going into my junior year when I dropped out.
Okay.
So I completed 2 full years.
You got halfway through a 4-year.
Yep.
And you're like, nah, not for me.
I switched to online too, that going into junior year, and I just didn't do anything.
So you guys were just doing jobs on the,
that was like our
full, out or what?
That was like our full thing was roofing. We just weren't doing much of it, but it was, I don't know, going from working for someone else to your own. I mean, we were doing 1 or 2, new construction houses and a tear off here or there a week. And I mean, that was for us better than we were doing before, working 5 days a week for someone else. So, and then that winter was the first winter I did a flip, and I ended up doing 3 of them. I was lucky enough to have some, I guess, partners that were pretty open to partnering with someone that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then,
I know the feeling.
Yeah, so I did that for one of them. Then we worked out a deal on the second one, and then the third one I had accumulated enough money to just buy myself and do. But
that's sweet. That's
and then
really
it just
cool.
kind of snowballed from there.
That's awesome. Roofing is super cyclical. Did you have like concerns starting out, like, oh, I can crush it in the summer, but then winter is going to go dry?
So when I was starting out, I mean, I kind of got lucky with timing and stuff. I mean, I was in school, so I figured school in the winter, roofing in the summer, and just it was a lot easier for me to start because I didn't really have. I mean, my worst case scenario was most people's normal is just finish school, I guess. So,
yeah. Dude, that's so awesome. You're like busting your ass up there for someone else doing roofs, and you're like, you know what sounds better than doing roofs? Doing more roofs.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, so what were you going to school for?
So I was originally going for finance, kind of like the investment banking route. Okay. And then I switched to business admin just because it was a program they offered online. So I could work more while still going to school. But yeah, I just dropped out that same semester.
Was there like a moment where you're like, I want to start my own business versus like going to school and getting a job in this field that I was going to school for? Or like, how come you decided to like, I want to go into entrepreneurship, do my own thing?
Yeah. So after that first summer, it was going pretty well. And then I guess just with flipping the houses, I was like, worst case scenario, like kind of just thinking, I mean, I might just take this year off, see how it goes for the next this winter and following summer, and then reevaluate. And I guess that's kind of what I did when I dropped out. Like, I didn't know if I'd go back or not. Yeah. And then roofing went really well. Those three flips went well.
On you and you're like, screw this.
I mean, pretty much, I guess. You can look at it that way too, I guess. It's like, I mean, at some point, I don't know, what's the point of going back to school to make less money, I guess. But
yeah.
So you
less risk, but
less upside, but way less upside. So you weren't technically like dropping out. You were just like, I'm just going to pause this for now. Like, I can always go back. It's not like I'm done with school forever. But then like after that first year of being on your own, you're like, it's the longer you were self-employed and, a young entrepreneur, the more you're like, why would I go back to school?
Yeah, pretty much. I did drop out, like truly drop out that semester. I just didn't know if I'd pick it back up or not. And just never did. Can always go back. Still young enough to go back. If I would never go back. But,
that's so awesome.
I could, but I won't.
You can always go back to school. I don't know. You can, I don't have kids or anything that I got to worry about like making payments or mortgage or stuff like that. So I don't know. No really better time to start. At the time, I had nothing to lose.
Heck yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and so now you're at a very different point 4 years later. So can you give like the audience, all of our million followers, subscribers, viewers, listeners, can you kind of just describe the 4 year, like each year, kind of how you grew, what changed, and what led you to where you're at now? Yeah.
So I guess just so we got lucky with the hailstorm too. We were already growing into that year. So this would have been last summer, we were growing into the year pretty good, staying busy and stuff. It was still just me and then the buddies I knew that had roofed previously roofing. And then when they were going back to school, I started looking at like the subcontractor route, which is pretty much most mom and pop construction companies nowadays, is just sales and subs. And that kind of allowed me to start selling bigger projects that before I was turning down, which was the dumbest thing I've ever done. And then it hailed like end of July there. So, I mean, I figured I'd never ran a hail claim before or insurance claim on behalf of a homeowner, but kind of learned that out easily and kind of got lucky that I figured that out quick. And then, we were 2 months nonstop, 7 days a week, minimum 12 hours a day. And that gave me enough money to go buy a few houses that winter. So it's kind of gone back and forth. Like I'd make more from roofing and then make more the winter flipping. And then the next summer I'd make even more from roofing and then
kind of good problem to have.
Back and forth. And then this year I was hoping to do that development that would have really done well, I think. And I think it still would pencil well if you want to put up with the city for 3 years. But
the aggravation might not be worth it. You can just go somewhere else maybe and do it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I guess,
So you had Fargo Star?
Yep, it was Fargo Star Roofing Repair was our old name.
So when did that start? Like how long did you guys run that before this past?
So
you said you just rebranded.
I filed that in 2021. So that would have been, I guess, the official. I don't remember what time of year we actually.
Yeah.
I mean, we did side jobs here and there for people we knew before that, but that was more unofficial. But that was when I started that. And then Redline Roofing is now just brand new this spring. So
about 4 or 5 years ish, give or take.
I think it was, about four seasons, roofing seasons.
That's sweet. So what's that been like growing that? Like, cause from when you guys started, to now, what have you guys been doing like a ton of marketing or is it just word of mouth? Like how has that growth been?
So right now, before we were doing some marketing, like have some billboards up and just normal Google pay-per-clicks, just stuff like that. But now with Redline, we're trying to Google's kind of a little pain to work with in certain scenarios. Trying to keep the old like Fargo Star account and just have the name change. So we have the, 3 or 4 year history reviews. And then just also, the longer your account's open, Google rate it better. So right now we can't really do any marketing on Google because it still says Fargo Star. And I guess we just don't want to dump more money into marketing a name that won't exist. It still exists. On paper it exists as a company. It's the DBA of my personal company because this new one's a partnership. So it's a new company, but.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So why take on a partner? Because you were crushing on your own, right?
Yep.
Like you were doing really well. And then, so is this like a growth strategy for you?
Part of it's a growth strategy. And then also part of it's kind of like not working myself out of the company, but handing off like the sales side of things. So my partner, he is 35, 36. So he's older than I am, but he was a salesman and sales manager before. And then he also worked at Window World for a while. So I don't know, it kind of can help us bridge into windows are a high ticket sale item, kind of like roofs. So in theory, we will start to get into that slower. We'll build up the name. The name is Redline Roofing, but kind of just add the exteriors underneath it. And hopefully we can kind of get a good market share in windows and siding and roofing, because around here, there's quite a few big roofing companies now, but not many window companies, unless they're like the really big national companies that sell for just crazy numbers. So
they're insane.
We
nothing about you guys is a franchise, right? Like a lot of these other places are franchises, right?
Yep.
They're not. So you guys are kind of.
Yep. I'd say
Fargo,
Window World's
local.
probably the biggest window company in town. And they're a franchise. They, from what I know, do very well on windows here.
Yeah.
But besides that, there's not many big window names that come to mind that aren't
like Anderson Windows is like a huge company, or like what's the other one?
They're a manufacturer as well.
Oh yeah,
Anderson,
they're
Western does
Western products.
Yep, they do quite a bit.
But I've seen they're so expensive. They're like insane.
We can hit margins that are above what we would like to be at. Just with we have a lot smaller overhead than those companies too. But to hit our margins, we can still be at a very competitive price compared to those guys. So and while still installing very good windows.
Nice,
that's awesome.
So get a lot of market share by underbidding a lot of these bigger companies, basically.
Yep. Our goal is not to underbid people either. Like we're not just trying to like win on price, because there's still people that are cheaper than us. It's just 8-9 figure companies figuring their overhead versus us, or their franchise costs versus us not having any of that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Plus lead times are a big deal too. A lot of those bigger
especially
companies.
for Windows.
Yeah.
They're better than they were 2 years ago, but they're still a few weeks. They used to be a few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Eric, don't get too excited here, but turning more to the real estate side of things.
Love it.
So what year did you do your first flip then? Or I guess like investment property?
I believe it would have been the winter of 2021.
Okay. Wow.
So it was 3-3. I think I had one random one during a summer. And then last year I didn't buy any. I had a house because we just got too busy with roofing. So it was just sitting. So I guess that's kind of the flips that I've done. Yeah.
Have they all been flips, or do you do like wholesaling, Airbnb stuff, or just the house flipping?
I've only flipped them as of now.
Okay.
I've thought about keeping some of them, but at this point, I guess if I'm going to buy a long-term play, I don't really think I want it to be single family. At this point, it'd be multifamily or commercial.
Yeah.
Just there's, I don't know, a lot more upside and appreciation.
Do you have any partners with that stuff, or is that just all you?
I don't. I've partnered on a few of the houses, basically like, you buy the house, or some landlords that had houses that just got trashed and wanted to get rid of them. Like they would have a house, we'd come in, do all the renovations, pay for all the renovations, and then split it that way.
That's a huge tip for like guys that don't have a lot of money but have a lot of hustle. They want to get in with, like get into the game a little bit. Like that's perfect.
If you have some experience, you need some money, but 20 grand, 30 grand, you can flip, you can renovate pretty much a whole house if you're doing all the labor.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, these are small houses too. They're not 3,000 square foot houses there. I got one right now still that's like 800 square feet.
An apartment size.
Yeah.
So basically you go to this landlord, a tenant trashed their place, and they're like, hey, I'm going to sell this, but I still want to get top dollar. You come in, you fix it all up for me, and we'll split like the difference of what I would get if I sold it today versus if it was all fixed up. Like you kind of get you get paid out of that.
Yep. So basically, it had an upside for them too, because it was sellable to a flipper basically in the current condition, but they couldn't have listed it on the market. So I don't know. They get a little more money out of it, and also they don't have to deal with anything or put more money into, like they don't have to pay to fix it up, because I was the one funding the rehab.
It's a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a really good win-win.
Has that been all of your deals, is like kind of working with like landlord type of stuff, or do you like find off-market deals, or?
That's been two. I've done two like that, where it was a partnership. But
the first two, the first couple that you got into?
The first one was a partnership, and then it was the second winter was another one.
Okay.
Because I had two on university right next to each other. And that's actually how I bought the one next door, is because I was doing that one. And that one was a pain, but it was condemned. So
yeah.
I mean, I bought that house for less than the tax assessed value of the land. So
Dang.
That'll work.
So what's been kind of like the main motivation behind, because obviously it seems like you're doing pretty good with the roofing side of things. What's like the motivation behind continuing to do the flips? I know you said like you'd thought about not doing anymore, but why keep doing those?
I guess money is the main reason. Main reason behind it. I guess like you do a couple of them a year, you add that extra money, just keep snowballing everything else. But now I look at it differently too. Like originally, me and my guys were doing all of the work. Now it's like I'm only going to do a deal if we're doing minimal work, and like if the deal makes sense, basically hiring everything out.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, we've done roofs, windows, and siding, and a lot of them just because we can do everything at cost. And it's I don't know if you're a first time home buyer, those can be ways that a bad roof, bad siding, or bad windows can get them unapproved if they have certain loan types. So us doing that stuff at cost, I don't know, is a pretty big value add too, just because
that's huge.
we have the labor side of it for cost. So
yeah. So what's like, if you're okay with it, what's like an average kind of profit that you guys are pulling from these house flips?
I would say, so the first one was terrible. Like I probably made hourly on that one.
The first one's always bad.
Yeah, like that one I probably made hourly, but after that, I would say the whole deal, if you considered both sides of it, like my partnership ones have been the lowest earning. I think the lowest one was 30, and then the highest one, that condemned house, I just topped 6 figures on it.
Dang, that's huge.
Paid 27 for the house, stripped it to the studs, and then I don't know, it doesn't cost much to put an 800 square foot house back together.
Yeah.
And that's adding a garage, pouring a driveway. Like if we didn't have to do that stuff, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Probably easier to just build a new house, honestly.
I thought about it, but by the time you demo it and rip out that old foundations are a really big expense.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So you said between the two businesses, does that mean like some of the profit you made on the construction side and like the flip itself, or?
Well, like the ones I had a partnership on, like where we were splitting the profit, those were not only the least profitable for me, but like if you looked at the whole deal, it was like the least profitable deals I've done. Just like the houses, like I'm not gonna say I'd do them again, but I wouldn't have not done them.
Yeah.
But the numbers on them weren't as good. But dude, those two led to 2 other ones that did great. Especially like it led to my best one, because I wouldn't have met the hoarder next door if I wasn't there. Working on the one house. So
that's a huge tip for a lot of people too, is just getting in the game. And like the first one doesn't have to be a home run, but it opens doors, Well,
and you meet a lot. Like I've met tons of flippers from flipping and stuff, and that's led to roofs. I mean, I've done a roof for you, Barry. Barry probably. I've done a few roofs for him. He flips a lot of houses.
Nice.
But the people I've met too is I looked at that originally too. Like if it didn't go well, this people I met the first summer, that alone was priceless to me.
Yeah.
Just the connections and
just the connections you make. Yeah. It's wild. And like, then you impress somebody. Like for me, that roof that you did that went out in Jamestown, I just sent you a text and you're like, okay, here's the number. And I'm like, done. You made it so easy. And then, so yeah, like the whole networking thing, you get to know all these people, you build relationships, just doing a good job, providing a good service or product, and then just being in the business every day, busting your ass.
Yep.
Like it opens so many doors.
Last thing too, like I've priced, like when we did your roof and like stuff for other flippers or people in the industry, like landlords and stuff, we do give significantly better price than like a normal person or just a normal homeowner. But I also look at it as like someone comes to you and they're like, oh, who do you use for roofs? You flip a lot of houses. The amount of more exposure you get from working for people in the industry or a landlord, they know a lot of landlords that have a lot of buildings, a lot of houses, a lot of apartments. I did a whirlybird. I switched a squeaky whirlybird for a guy in the winter, and that led to our biggest referral ever for a roof. It was 100,000 square feet.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
I switched a whirlybird for one of his friends in the winter, and that's how I got referred.
Wow.
That's wild. And so how much did you charge him to switch the whirlybird? It was like
$200, $300. Yeah, probably $300.
Something that a lot of people wouldn't even do.
Yeah. Well, and it was the winter, so I didn't even want to do it to start, but I was like, I know this guy's in real estate, so you never know. Yeah.
You
never know where it will go, and it clearly,
Dude, that's why I love that. That's such a good lesson. Just even, or even a reminder for me too. It's just like always just help out, do the little stuff, especially if it's for people that like you want to build long-term repeat business, like relationship wise. That's such an awesome lesson, dude. A whirly bird.
Yep. Well, also in like our industry, like if I go fix someone's leak on the roof or they had a shingle blow off, that's the same. Normally 2 homeowners, they're going to refer us and talk to just as many people as the guy we did a whole roof for. So like, yeah, we're not making it necessarily on that repair, but I mean, that's just as much word of mouth out there.
Yeah. Kind of free. Well, not free, but good advertising.
Yep. Word of mouth's the best advertising for us. I mean, that's all we're working off this year so far because of our issues with Google. So
dang,
that's
dude.
Crazy. But you've already made the comment a couple times, like good lesson or stuff like that. But what's like, I'm going to give you an either or question. You can answer it either way. What is either the best advice you ever got when you were starting out, or like what's one piece of advice that you would give somebody starting out?
That's an interesting one. I guess I don't really know the best advice I've ever gotten. I kind of just was a young person, just kind of, I didn't really listen to anyone when I started. So I don't know. And I didn't really have anyone like else that I knew when I started, but best advice to someone else would probably just be get out there and do it. I mean, especially young people, like this is the best time. You're never going to have as much opportunity and as few responsibilities as you do now. So
ain't that the truth?
I guess that would be my biggest thing is, I don't know, the earlier the better, especially even if you're older and buying rentals, like, you know, you got to buy your first one. I haven't bought my first rental, but I guess I would say you got to start somewhere. I could keep a house for rental if I wanted to. I like working too much. So like I see more upside in flipping it and using that cash to keep snowballing it instead of.
Yeah. Talk a lot about like snowballing, like using certain things to roll it into reinvestments or reinvest it in certain things and use that to make more money and do it over and over. So
that's, I mean, you can burr all the flips and most of them would pencil if I would burr them, but it's like that extra money that you are leaving tied up. Like, yeah, it's not your own money, but how much could I be making off that money? I don't know.
Yeah, Eric.
Because it's like,
well,
like I wouldn't have been able to flip.
Should I start roofing? Is that what you're saying, Dad?
That's the one nice thing about being on both sides of it, though, not just real estate, not just roofing is, I don't know, roofing's kind of, you could say the cash cow. I mean, it's not a crazy cash cow with how our size, but like that's where I can focus on making money. And then real estate's kind of just like, I wouldn't say a side hustle, but that's, I don't look at flipping houses as my way to earn an income.
Yeah.
So, like a person could do flips and become like rich, like, but that's that's an active income stream. That's the business of flipping houses is similar to, you know, another active income stream, like owning a construction or a roofing business. You know, you're saying I'm going to crush in roofing and make my money there. And then just, if I have a ton of extra cash that I need to park somewhere, it'll probably be real estate.
Yep.
So
that's
that'll be more
how I also look at like roofing too, as seems good to like the number 10. I feel like you would, I don't know, 10 million. If you're looking at like just gross net worth and stuff, I feel like I would make it faster in roofing than real estate. But once you're crossing that number, I feel like you can grow it a lot faster in real estate.
Gotcha.
Once you can start touching commercial stuff and force appreciation and just stuff like that, I think real estate is probably a faster tool to get there, just from other people I've talked to that have used that as their way to get there. Like everyone's got business on top of real estate, but I don't know, once these guys really get into it 10, 20 years deep, the real estate's what really starts making them money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you've mentioned snowballing a couple times, and there's different bottlenecks to exponential growth. So like if you're trying to grow your construction company or whatever business, like there's natural bottlenecks of like supply and demand. Like there's only so many roofs you can do unless you're going to go like nationally or whatever.
And unless you're really going to scale it. I don't personally see that as something I would like to do. But
give me 10 grand a year, I'll just go start vandalizing roofs.
Should I do it for free? But no, like that. I like what you said though. That's a really good point. Cause you can get to a certain like annual revenue in business. And then at that point, it might make more sense to like shift your focus. Like that's on autopilot, making 10 million a year or whatever, you know. And then revenue.
Revenue. That's kind of
make that distinction. But but then piling it all into real estate or like becoming an expert in value add commercial deals. I know you can make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million in one deal over the course of a year in a value add. Like
even if you buy it right and get it rented, like if you find a property under rented and just, I don't know, someone's retiring and wants cash quick or just wants to get out of their property, doesn't want the headache, stuff like that people can make.
Fundamentals
multiple 7 figures
in
a year.
You totally can. Yeah, and it's not just the physical value add. You know, you can force appreciation through management efficiencies. You know, like adding tech or raising rents. Just if they're all like undervalued, bump rents 20%, and now the value is 20% higher for the entire property. That's just how it works. And like that could be, if on a $5 million property, you bump it up 20%, $1 million bucks.
$1 million bucks.
Just by like signing new leases.
Yep. Yeah. Just for bringing it up to the current like market, not even trying to like exceed it, not doing any crazy CapEx, like just getting up to market rents. And
then maybe that $1 million value add, you could potentially burr doing that. You know, like if it's let's say it's a $4 million or whatever, and you raise the value $1 million, you could refinance and take out most of your money, and it could be a free, I don't know, 100-unit apartment complex or something. And all you had to do is front the money to buy it, add some managerial efficiencies, and then refinance. And now you have basically a
free building.
Yeah, free.
A free, I mean, especially at the younger age, like you do that stuff when you're young, like it's going to be, I mean, if you don't cash out refi again, like that place can be paid off by the time you're late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, it's wild. The scalability of real estate it can keep going as much as you want.
I actually want to back up a little bit, talking about like the scalability, because you'd mentioned like roofing, real estate, and kind of how you hit a certain point and stuff. But I'm actually interested in talking about the roofing and real estate, a full-time job, and the real estate stuff, because I just today put together like a structure for a reel for Eric about getting started in real estate while also working a full-time job. So how has that been for you, like balancing that? Like, are you, I know you'd mentioned like winters for flipping and summers for roofing, but are you sticking to that strictly, or are there times where it overlaps, and how do you deal with that stuff?
Yeah, so it did overlap last spring quite a bit, which the opportunity cost on that was probably, I wouldn't even want to put a number on it because we had an interesting hailstorm. Like it was big enough hail to total out all the roofs, but small enough that it kept most of the storm chasers away. So me and my main guy, sales rep, were sitting working on houses for the first month and a half of spring, where we could have been outdoor knocking. I mean, the opportunity cost on that was crazy. But I guess for back and forth, I just work a lot. I guess it's kind of the like, I mean, if someone's looking at normal full-time job, 40 hours a week, I think it'd be pretty easy to flip a house on top of that with how much I guess I've worked. But I also like,
just got to put the time in.
Yeah. Until this year, I mean, I was 80, 100 hours a week, like for over half the year.
You gotta want
mostly in the summer, but
I've
really kind of slowed down now. Not necessarily that we're doing less. It's more just I've learned more efficient ways to do it.
Yeah.
And then also like having a partner now does help.
Long story short, you just got to want it. You got to make time for it. And
I think in the beginning,
like
that's
you said
the
earlier, you got to go out and do it.
Yep. Also now too, like there's stuff that before I would have done myself that now it's like, oh, it's worth paying for those. Yeah. I don't even know examples of it, but just the little things that you wasted, a couple hours here, a couple hours there on like that you just don't anymore because you have a little bit of money. That makes it a lot more efficient too. And then I didn't have like CRMs or anything when I started. So I was tracking everything on paper, running around all the time, not being efficient with it. And now it's a nice CRM really helps and
keeps you organized.
Yep.
But yeah, in the beginning, you basically just threw all your effort at it. It sounds like. Would you use the word obsessed? Like, were you obsessed with your business, or do you view it as like this is a normal, healthy thing?
Yeah, I don't know if obsessed is the word. Like, I don't know. I truly enjoy like doing it. Like I was like tired at the end of the week, and it's like you're missing out on things that not going out as much or stuff just for someone my age in college. But like looking back now, like I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Especially now that I have more time. A lot of people, it takes more than a few years to kind of get to that point where they can slow down a little bit. But I guess too, like I feel like I'm pretty good at managing my time during the weeks and stuff. We don't really do weekends anymore, but I don't know, 60 hours a week to me still doesn't feel like a lot.
Yeah. So if someone was starting out, you talk about like roofing, or we'll call it like a trade, you have a little bit of knowledge from your schooling about finances and stuff like that. You just talked about like time management, things like that. For somebody that wanted to go out and start their own thing, what's like one of the best skills that you would recommend they learn? I know we even talked about like networking and stuff like that. Like what skill would you recommend? Like, hey, you should probably, learn this or practice or kind of look at it?
I think it could go two ways. I think sales would be a really big one. Like if you're really good at sales, I think it'd be easier to start a company if you're good at sales, but I'm glad I know from like the working side.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're good at sales, you could go, in theory, you could go sell everything and then kind of figure it out after that. But or else just, I don't know, like having the drive and hustle to want to put in the time. If you're willing to put in the time doing it, just meeting people, trying to get jobs here and there, doing random stuff for random people, I guess that's hustle would probably be the number one thing that I would say.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Just put blind effort towards it and then show up and do the job, obviously, and do a good job.
Well, even like there's stuff you don't really need experience for. Like, I don't know, we did apartment clean outs after bad tenants or house clean outs after, because we weren't roofing every day. So I had a dump trailer, had a couple guys that wanted to work. It's like, okay, you don't have to be a genius to go carry couches out of an apartment.
You seem to have kind of like a good, you had the drive, you went out, you did it, you started it, you made it work. What do you think for, a lot of people out there, what's the biggest thing that you think stops people from doing that?
I guess I'd say if you're older, I would say probably just like the risk factor. I mean, once you have a mortgage, have people that rely on you, like kids, you have to be able to provide for them and stuff. And I guess live while also starting. And then on top of it, nowadays, it seems like a lot more people are living paycheck to paycheck. So I didn't start with much money. I started with the money I saved from working, but like you do need usually a little bit of money to start, or makes it a lot easier. Like I went out and bought a dump trailer. I had a truck, like just stuff like that.
So what would you say to somebody like a young person? Let's call them, how old are you when you started?
18.
18.
Yep.
Okay, so there's an 18-year-old listening to this podcast, and they're just, I'm afraid of the risk. What would you tell them?
I would say start small, like start doing jobs on the weekends, the evenings. Don't quit your day job until you, I guess, are fully ready to jump into it. It also depends, like construction versus real estate. Like it's a lot harder to start maybe flipping houses than doing small jobs on houses. But I mean, you meet a few house flippers and they'll have you pulling nails out or ripping out old carpet or just, I don't know.
Railroad ties out of a garden.
Yeah. Like,
well, at 18, you don't have a ton of life experience. You don't have a ton of work experience. So like basically if you have the attitude, like I'm just going to go out there and try to like be valuable to someone, do what they say and like make some money, like take stuff. It might not be the most fun. There's always a learning curve and stuff, but I mean, just keep showing up. There's a lot of young guys over the years that I've met who have that initial hustle, but then they'll do one job for me, one thing, and then never see him again. They'll like bounce on to the next thing.
And also, it depends too. Like, I don't know, some people like they think that's going to start out glamorous and it's like, oh, go pull these staples out from my old flooring. There's like 10,000 of them in this floor. Like those old tiles that like have like wood underneath them and like stuff like that. It's like
it all adds. Once you've done it once, you can do it a million times.
Or like tearing out plaster if someone's gonna re-sheetrock. Like that's not glamorous, but gets you in the door, gets you talking to people that are doing it, and kind of connects people that have flipped houses if that's your goal, or have bought rentals.
I feel like that kind of stuff, though. I mean, we've talked about this before, Eric, but that kind of stuff helps you. Let's say you're gonna go do a house flip. It kind of helps you manage that a little bit better too, doesn't it? Because you understand what's happening, what's going into it.
Yep. Versus like, oh, this needs new flooring, not like, oh, this old stuff has to be ripped out and then there's, prep work in between there. And seeing the process really helps. I think helped me at least before I was.
Don't be one of those bosses that's like, hey, rip out this floor or redo this roof. And it should take what, like 6 hours or so? Like that should be good.
You can figure it out.
Don't be that guy.
So what are some of like, you started really young and you've stuck with it. I'm sure there's been a lot of brick walls you've run into, roadblocks, challenges, that kind of stuff. Can anything that like stands out as like a huge frustration or like you thought about maybe quitting early on or anything like that?
I haven't really ever thought of like quitting or stuff. I guess the biggest hurdle for me being young starting out is, I mean, I can get it now. I just haven't. But I mean, even last year with good numbers and a couple of years of history, like you can't borrow money. Like I could not borrow money if I wanted to 2 years ago.
Dang.
I could have if I told them if it was for student loans, but if I wanted to flip a house after flipping 3 houses, it wouldn't have happened. Or I don't like to finance anything. So like all of our equipment, trucks, everything that flips to this point have all just been unfinanced. But that's probably been the one hurdle that would probably allow to scale a little bit faster if I were to be trying to pursue flipping over roofing. That would have been the probably biggest hurdle that I could see have popped up. But besides that, like in roofing, we've had small problems, but it's nothing that I look at stuff too. If it's not gonna be a problem in a week or two, it's not really a problem. Like
I like that.
I don't know, like little stuff. If someone's unhappy with something, we take care of it. I don't know, last we did a lot of roofs. The worst thing that happened, I think we broke an exterior window pane. It's like, okay, my window, I'm going to get a window guy. He's going to be here on Monday. And, as soon as he can do it, I'll try expedite it. But I don't know, like stuff like that. It's like some people would be freaking out they're broken. It's like, I don't know, you go up to the customer, you explain what happened, tell them you're going to take care of it. And I guess so far that's worked for us.
So I like asking this question. When you first started, you know, like, and you're doing all your research and you're like, oh, I'm going to get into this business or whatever. A lot of young entrepreneurs have like all these fears and stuff and like concerns about getting started. And then like 5 years later, 10 years later, they look back and they have a very different perspective. So I like to ask like, okay, what percentage of all like the fears and concerns you had when you were just getting started, like looking into the unknown, actually like came true?
I didn't really have a whole lot of fears, but I guess
I'm kind of getting that idea from you.
All the ones that I did have kind of got eliminated after proof of concept, you could say. Like after the first full year into it, I was like, yeah, this is probably going to work pretty well. I was a lot more reserved with like, I wasn't buying anything stupid or stuff like that. Cause I was like, a year in, this could go absolutely south overnight, or 2 years in, it could go, I mean, even now it could go straight belly up. But I guess I didn't really have a whole lot of fears per se. I'm weird. I like work. I'm like working and I'm not scared of I don't know.
That's probably a good combination.
Negative outcome. I guess that's the one thing too. Like a lot of people are like roofing. I couldn't roof. Couldn't have hundreds of houses out there that I roofed during a rain. You know, I wouldn't be able to sleep during a rainstorm or stuff like that. But
like worried that they'll fail or something.
Yeah, I've had more than one person say that to me. I guess be like, I couldn't do roofing just because of what it is.
A lot of people kind of think like that. You know, they're like, you tell them what you do, and their first response is some fear, some negative fear.
Yep.
And I'm like, why is that the first thing you like? Why is it always something negative or like, whoa, like don't your tenants call you in the middle of the night, or like don't they have all these problems? I'm like, no, very rarely, because you're worried about it. So you prep for it, you plan for it, and you prevent that kind of stuff. Or they just don't happen at all. And you just hear about the negative stuff because that's what gets like publicity.
Oh, yeah. No one's out there talking about I mean, there is people that talk about the great stuff, but I don't know, same thing for like roofing. You know, if you do one bad roof, more people are going to hear about that than the 100 good ones you did. But it's like the same thing, like with everything. It's like with business, they're like, oh, what if it goes under? What if you waste money? What if your tenants don't pay? Well, what if you work till you're 75? That's kind of my outlook on it. Is like, I don't know. My worst case scenario is most people's normal. Like I go get it again. I would never go get a job, but
no, like awesome. Your worst case.
My worst case scenario is I go work a 9 to 5. If I lost everything tomorrow, I don't know if I'd start up right away again, but I would probably go sell for someone else for a few years, just because it's such a high roofing sales, is a very high income job to have.
Well, that's a really good point too. Is like you wouldn't go back to like trading your time for money, like a hourly rate.
Yep.
You'd be like, well, I have this very high value skill from this whole entrepreneurial venture that I did. So like I'm going to harness that, and then it's still a job, so that you're not risking any of your own money, but you are kind of eating what you kill with the sales job.
Yep. It's like, I don't need money to go sell for someone else. I'll go move to it. I mean, I would personally, if I lost everything, move to a market where it's very hail and insurance heavy. So it's like, I don't know, like if I lost everything, I'd wait for the next biggest storm probably in the next few weeks. And I'd go out there and find a job for someone. And within a month, you'd be back on your feet.
Yeah. You could, and that's probably the golden lesson right there. Is if you lost everything, you don't lose your skills. You don't lose
or connections,
or your connections, or your experience, or all that stuff. You know, like you still know exactly how to recreate a multi-million-dollar operation. So it's like, why wouldn't I just start over and then just learn my lesson from whatever reason I failed in the first place?
Yep. It's like, I'm going to do something at least that my skills are valued. And I guess not trading as a sales rep, you don't really trade your time for money as much. I mean, you have to go out and work to earn an income, but
but it's asymmetrical.
It's commission based. So, I mean, if you're hustling and good at your job, you're going to not be looking at the hourly. Right. If you're looking at the hourly, you're going to be like, man, I'm making great.
So your worst case scenario is still way better than just going to a normal day job.
I would say so.
But all that is built on 80-hour weeks, learning sales, being up on roofs, 100-degree weather, because you did a lot of roofing yourself. But that's just it. Like you built that, and it's all that effort and being fearless and not thinking like, oh, what if this, what if that? You know, I'm just going to not try, because like that sounds horrible, you know, like just going to day job and working till you're 70, like you said. But like all you got to do is, I don't want to say like all you got to do, but like it's a ton of work, but man, like a hard 5 years for the rest of your life to be pretty fucking good.
Yep.
I'd take that, but you're sacrificing a lot, like not going out with your friends, 80, 100-hour weeks, like you said, like not buying all the toys that a lot of people like to buy. Or, I mean, I don't know if you do.
I'm bad at that. Yeah. I would be doing better if I would stop buying stupid stuff. But also, I'm smart when I'm not putting I put way more money away to keep snowballing everything. Before, like,
so you take a little out for fun, you know, because you've earned it and you busting your ass.
That's the thing too. Like I look at too, like percentage wise, like I spend way less than a normal person does on a car. Like I might spend more than them, but like percentage wise, it's
like, that's and then, half their income versus just 1% of yours.
And then it's also like running a company. There's your income could be the same as like working a 9 to 5, but there's just so many benefits that you get with deductions. Like, you know, I don't buy a personal truck. I've got a company truck because whenever I'm in my truck, I work like all the time. So
you live in your truck.
Yeah. Or just like, I don't know, traveling, you know, I got infinite points pretty much at this point. And then on top of that, like, I don't know, you get offers from different places to go on trips and stuff for certain spend levels that we blow through. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, that's awesome. With that, here on Millionaire Misfits, we like to kind of ask everybody about a millionaire moment and a misfit moment. Starting with that misfit moment, when you first started out, was there like any moment or a memory that you have of being like, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know if I belong here or anything like that?
Yeah, I guess I never like didn't feel like I didn't belong, but I guess like, I mean, the first flip I ever did, I didn't really know what I was doing. I don't know. I used to watch a lot of videos and stuff. So I guess I hoped that helped, and it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess that's probably the most, like, I don't know, going into the first flip is probably the most.
But you figured it out.
Yeah, like riskiest thing I felt like I've done. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. I worked for free a lot too back in the day. Like paying my guys was what I got paid for the job. I guess I saw through the vision.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then on the flip side, when was like kind of your moment of, like I did what I set out to do, or hit like a major goal or something like that?
Probably last year, last roofing season, we were crushing it, I guess. We're doing 1 or 2 houses a day, 5 days a week for a majority of the year, and then throw apartments in there. We did 3 or 4 houses every now and then when they were like smaller houses and like close to, it was a hailstorm too. So like you do 1 on the block, you do 10 on the block. So it's like, I don't know, stuff like that. But just, I remember we were driving down one of the streets and we probably had 20 signs within like, 40 houses. So I don't know, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
like
wild.
Just know it. And then we roofed all of those within like a week. So it's like,
that's crazy.
Last summer was pretty fun, pretty cool. We worked a lot, but had fun doing it.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a goal that, like your next goal, you're like, hey, here's where we want to hit next? Or
I guess
crush it?
now that now that I have a partner and like it's different, like, I don't know, like we don't have a name out there anymore. So it's like brand new name and stuff, just word of mouth. I guess my biggest goal would be doing the same revenue numbers this year, not even growing. Just if we can do that first year in business purely off word of mouth, and then I guess the little parts we know off marketing, if we can ever get our Google figured out. I guess that would be it. And then past that, I guess we have like, I have goals in my head, not necessarily like hard numbers and stuff, but I guess that would be my goals. And
so 200 projects last year, that's insane. Do you know like offhand the number, the top line on that?
Like revenue number?
Yeah.
It was a little north of 3 million.
3 million? Dang. Shit, that's so many roofs, dude. So how do you like doing those huge roofs? Like if you could only do those commercial gigantors, would you only do those?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Residential is so much easier. Like we can do residential. I don't have to be there. My sales rep doesn't have to be there. Like our foreman or the crew can handle everything. So like we have that a lot more streamlined, but the commercial stuff is just so much more efficient. The roofing goes by square. So like we charge the same as square, give or take. I mean, it's a little bit lower. That one was insured. Our biggest one was insurance. So like we're charging the same as square, but we can put way more guys on it and get it done. I don't know. Like our biggest job was 6 days, and that was probably a fifth of my revenue last year.
Dang.
So
one
job.
Whoa.
Yep.
In 6 days.
6 days. 6 like hour like we started like on the roof at sun up and past sundown by like 2 or 3 hours, like cleaning up, getting ready for the next day.
Just like barely.
But it was in November too though, so it was I think first week of November, because it's been weird winters here. So.
Whoa. So like at the end, like tail end of the like very tail end, you just come in and get this.
We were trying to beat the price increase that was coming on shingles in the spring. So it's like, we'll get this put in as long as it's nice enough.
Was it one of the last jobs, a very last job?
I think we roofed a week after that, did a few houses, and then
ended on that big one and a couple little ones and just called it. Dang, dude, that's insane. And this is all still like sales and subs model?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we do like all the repairs, like you could say in-house, but all the roofs, we use, the crew's like primary, like they work for us. So there's like a main guy that will have a couple crews. So like he works for multiple contractors, but we have the same crews every day.
Oh, nice.
If that makes sense. So it's like, I don't know, like a builder that hires a framer, like if they're building 100 houses a year, that framer's probably only working for them. But if they're building 10, they're using the same framer every time, but that framer's obviously working elsewhere. Whereas like if we have enough work, like if we're averaging 2 houses a day, like we have extra crews for when we're going to do 3 or 4, depending on the size of the house. But like those 1 or 2 main crews are only working for us.
Yeah.
Sick. I love it, dude.
You have to be careful with that now with the new laws though, between 1099 and W-2.
Right.
It's kind of like where we have to be careful with it. But our guys do, like the guys that run the company, like the owners of the subcontracting companies, they do enough work for other people that it's not really a concern of mine.
Gotcha.
Like they do siding, roofing for other people. So I pay them a lot, but they get money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Dude.
Or income elsewhere. So
that's so awesome. Dang, dude. Like I got into construction a little bit this year.
Yep.
I partnered up with Sean. You met him.
Yep.
He's done a lot of flips for me and stuff, but I've been talking to guys like you and stuff for the last couple of years, and like I've owned a lot of rentals, done the Burr method and stuff, and that's great for net worth, but the construction industry in general always going to be in demand, and I did really want to tap into like that active income stream, not just the burring. And it worked well with my real estate experience too. And it frees up my time to like focus on like pursuing bigger deals and stuff too. So one thing we like to ask is like, okay, if you had to give homework to an imaginary listener right now, like let's say there's a group of guys out here just listening to you and they're like, all right, just tell me what to do next week to like get as far as I can towards my starting a roofing business or whatever. Like fill up my next week with work. Like how do I spark that initial business?
Yeah, so it'd probably depend, 1, if they're coming from sales side, or 2, if they're coming from like install side.
Let's go with the install side.
If you're coming from install side,
let's go blue collar guys.
So I guess for us starting, and for what I see a lot of guys starting, is you start on new construction. You got to get your name out there, sit down with builders, stuff like that. New construction does not pay well at all. Like I was most of the time on new construction working for free just to pay my guys to have guys around for when we do a tear off. And in roofing, tear offs are the bread and butter. You don't really want to do new construction. But if you're like roofing for someone else, I'd say 1, you got to get all your paperwork and stuff. I mean, you got to be in line, especially if you're gonna work for builders. I mean, they're gonna check everything on you,
like being licensed, insured, all that stuff.
Yeah, licensed, insured, having a company. I mean, you gotta have accounts set up, stuff like that. You don't need any like crazy CRMs or anything, but just
be legit.
Having your legit, just the paperwork to make you legit and legal. That's probably the easiest way to start if you're going from the install side, is getting, I don't know, your feet wet in new construction.
And that's mainly just for the experience, because you said it doesn't pay well. So like basically just getting your name out there, getting a little bit of a network built up, and getting some jobs just under your belt.
Jobs just under the belt, getting your name out there. But then it also, like, if you're working for hourly or not great, it still gives you enough to like still live on while you're chasing like the bigger jobs or the tear off jobs. If I wouldn't have been doing new construction, I wouldn't have made it, because like my guys wouldn't have been able to work for me, because I wouldn't have been able to pay them or have enough work to pay them. But with doing new construction, even if I wasn't making money, I had guys around that would be, well, I only had, first summer was me and one other guy. And then next summer was 3 to 4, depending on the day, sometimes 5, just because I knew people from my job previously. But it's just having the work for them to be able to make money too. Like, you know, this, in my case, it was their summer job. So they're relying on me to provide work. And then learning sales is, I'm not great at sales, like kind of why I have a partner who hopefully can grow that team inside of things is our goal. But I don't know if you can learn sales, if you know the install process, can make you a lot better at sales, I think too, because the homeowner can ask you any question. If you install it, you know what you're going on, versus the sales guys.
That's a really good point.
So
I mean, actionable stuff, actionable, like this week, get some paper, like start on the paperwork.
Make yourself legit.
Or at least have a plan to get there, because some of that stuff drags on, like opening accounts. Like people need to like check your IDs and shit. Like it can take weeks. At least have a plan. Like here's what I need to get licensed, insured. Here's what I need for like a truck, materials. You know, just to get started. Like have a little game plan. Maybe
put pen to paper.
Yeah,
and like get actually started. Do it. I mean, you're definitely never gonna do it if you don't even have a license. Like, I mean, I can tell you right now, you're not gonna be a contract if you don't have a license, or at least you're not going to be around very long. Or I mean, I don't know. You can't scale very big before someone finds out you don't have
someone will find out. You'll probably get sued or something.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you could start going door to door too. I would say from an install perspective, that's probably going to be a lot harder to do though, because I don't know, you don't really have if you don't know anything about sales, only install, it's gonna be hard to
You need a new roof? Just go maybe go door to door, but only target the interlocking T shingles. I thought about that. Like you can just see the old ass roofs up there. You'd be like, hey, it looks like you got the old
3
T's.
tabs, T-locks.
Yeah, I would do roofing, you know. And if you're a younger guy, a lot of homeowners are like, this kid looks like he needs a job, you know, like I'll give him this job just because like I appreciate the hustle. Yeah. So it kind of can be a superpower too.
Yeah. That are groups like the Facebook group. Like, I mean, there's a lot of investors that probably won't care if you got all your stuff in. I don't know. Like
they care about price a lot of times more than
they care about price more than if you're a, you know, licensed and insured company, depending on what that price is.
But helps when you can install the roof right too. You know? Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. You reevaluate all that too, like the levels you want to get to. Like, I mean, when I started, I would be coasting the rest of my life if I was at the level I'm at now. Now it's like, oh, I want to 10 exit. Like, you know, like I want a 10, 20 exit by the time I'm 30. So
it's hard to keep the goalpost from moving.
It just keeps moving.
Yeah, it's hard
because you meet the people that have hit the goalpost that you're now aiming for, and it's like they're like, oh, it's not hard. It's just do the same thing and add systems and processes.
Mm-hmm.
So
you just grow into that level of skill and experience, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden I am bringing in that money, or I'm bringing that value.
Or you are closing your sale. If you get to a sales team, like, oh, our team is able to scale itself and I don't know, close the numbers we need to get there. And
dude, that's so awesome. Nothing worth doing is ever going to be easy. You know, it might have some flashes of fun, or you know, it might be satisfying. You're happy you did it. Yeah, you're getting over being uncomfortable. You're getting over fears or stretching yourself thin or doing stuff you've never done. But that's what it takes to succeed in business. And the sooner our listeners can like wrap their heads around that, you know, shit. Even me, like just getting to that next level, you have to like be a beginner again. You know, like continue to stretch. So
I think it was you that told me, you're like, if I get one person that says yes out of knocking on 100 doors and I make, you know, like 50 grand on a house flip, like, that ain't bad.
You get one out of 1,000. I mean, that's 1,000 doors is a week of door knocking.
Yeah.
If like, that even. I mean,
so if you want it, like if your end goal is to get a job, like you said, it might not be glamorous, might not be super fun, but like
sometimes that's just what it takes, you know, and it's just hard for newbies to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because they're grinding. They're not making money on the new builds and stuff, but there's other benefits other than making money, especially up front. Like you're putting having work for your guys, or getting experience and building a network, like all the intangibles that are just as important to starting a successful business.
Yep.
What is one goal that you still haven't achieved yet that you want to?
Like a hard milestone, I guess, for a goal too, would probably buy the first rental, except for like, I'm not trying to buy a house for a rental, I guess is kind of the development was going to be my rentals, but that was going to be a pretty gnarly first rental at 50,000 square feet. So
I love how you're just calling a giant shop condo development a rental. You're like, it's going to be a rental.
Yeah. It would have been four buildings, which had 7 units each. So that was going to be the first
rental.
First rental property.
Yeah.
Dude.
It was going to cost us between 4 and 5, and should have appraised around 8.
Yeah.
I like that though. I like that you're doing that, because it makes it seem like it's not that scary.
Yeah,
like,
it's just a rental.
Like it's kind of the same concept, just on, like you said, it's processes and scale. And like it's a bigger scale, you know, but it's kind of, I guess I don't know, but I would imagine a lot of similar processes.
It'd be different too if I was trying to buy my first rental 2 or 3 years ago. I'd have been like, oh, I'm going to try burr this house and keep it. But I don't see the upside. And I don't know, like for me, a couple houses isn't really going to move the needle.
Yeah.
Versus like
probably distract you more than anything.
Yep. Like I would rather not own any rentals than get that random call once a month on one house. Like at this point in time, like my time is more valuable than trying to, I mean, I could have a property manager and stuff too, but it's just,
and you're managing them, and it's more of a headache.
Like at this point, it's like, I don't know, go bigger with the rentals or else just wait is kind of my outlook. So it's now something I'm trying to move towards. I don't know, once I now build my new shop, since I'm not doing that development, do that, maybe build a few houses and then kind of look at a rental.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the equity plays because it's like more efficient with taxes. But yeah, you're totally right. Opportunity cost is something you have to look at.
You have,
Sweet.
Dang, dude. Okay, let's do some shout outs. Who's been helping you a lot on your journey? Like, who have you been under like mentorship by any other big giant roofing companies, like anyone that you can think of that really helped at like a pivotal point in your career or anything like that? Or has it just been all you all day, every day?
I don't really have any true like mentors. I got like people like you that I like know in the industry, but I don't really have a true mentor that I'm like, this happened. What would you do here? Like I kind of would like one, but I just haven't really found one or found someone that is in the same. So a lot of people I know too are like real estate focused, and it's like, that's such a different world than the business world. So it's like, I've met some people in the business world, but not really many. People probably tell me more than they should because I'm young, and like give me more help than they should. But I think a lot of them also kind of hold back a little bit just because I'm young and kind of doing okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But
dude, take any advantage you can get, man. I mean, take every advantage you can get as soon as possible and like unapologetically too. It's like just build however you want, as fast as you want, and like use whatever resources you can. But yeah, I mean, you strike me as someone that's like just super resourceful, and they're like, well, if there's a problem, I'll figure it out. If it's not a problem in a week, it's not a problem. You're like, we'll just get through it. So you ever get like super stressed out or anything?
I don't get stressed. I don't know. That's probably like,
dude, you are like robotic, man.
That's like
awesome.
I think a lot of people would probably be done by now from what I've done because of the stress. But for some reason, I don't really get stressed. Like it takes a lot to stress me out. So we always follow manufacturer recommendations to make sure we're covered. We had a pretty big job that the shingles buckled up over like the seams and the plywood. Couldn't figure out why. I had an engineer out there, had framers looking at it because like it wasn't the shingle. Like nothing makes all the shingles buckle like that when you're just putting new shingles on.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of had me stressed because it happened over the winter, and we did it closer to the end of the year. So that happened over the winter. Everything that was probably gonna be like a $50,000 warranty job. That would have been just out of pocket. But
it's not like an insurance thing.
No, one general liability I don't really think covers that because they're gonna say it's like install, not general liability. More covers like damages, like let's say you broke 100 windows or something, like something crazy like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then also like being my age, if I file a claim, I'm not going to get commercial insurance anymore.
That's
more than
point.
likely.
Yeah.
Like especially something like that, but everything laid flat. So that's like the only thing I've probably stressed about, like really. And that's because like I had to wait months to see if it was going to lay flat.
So the problem just went away on its own.
Yep.
And meanwhile, I'm swearing at my computer because I can't get a reel to upload.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, is that something you think a person can develop, or is it just something you're born with?
I think you could change it a little bit, but I don't know if it's something. You would just have to change the mindset to like, I don't look at most stuff to me isn't a problem. That's a problem to most people.
Yeah. Is it help to have money in the bank to know like if something hits the fan, like I got some cash to cover?
Yep. I'd say that. I'd say once you're built up and you have a built up account for just business, like that makes almost any problem that you were going to have that would have been a problem go away. Cause I don't know, like if you're running a normal successful company at running the right margins, if you damage something or something pops up, it's not really significant in the big scheme of things. I mean, as long as it's not happening daily or weekly, but like at that point you need to change your system because you shouldn't be having problems that cost you a significant sum every week or day.
It does show like you can kind of, through experience and having money in the bank and having systems like it, all those things kind of do build up the confidence a little bit. So that, I had to go through a lot of stressful stuff to get to that point of being like comfortable, but that's just like, but it's worth it. So like, that's the goal, is to kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, but you just can't quit before you get there.
For both of you guys, do you find that you try to like plan for mistakes and build systems to avoid them? Or do most processes come about from quote unquote mistakes or like instances that have happened, situations?
I always try like think worst case scenario, like the guys are setting up at a house and it's like potential damages and stuff. Like they're not going to think about it in the meantime. So they're just, we're going to rip the roof off, throw it in the dumpster. I'm like, well, that's like a $10,000 garage door instead of like a $2,000 garage door. Like on top of setting plywood up, we're going to tarp around the entirety of the thing. So it's like the little piece that you didn't, that missed the plywood isn't going to scratch or dent this really expensive garage. So or
planning for worst case
like
scenario,
that.
But not out of fear. It's just out of building a system to avoid costly mistakes.
That are just like it's happened. I mean, it hasn't happened to us, but I know people it's happened to, or just in groups and stuff. It's like, oh, this fish pond or something, like, a shingle killed a $5,000 for just, you'll hear the craziest stuff in the forums, but it's like, now I know if there's ever a koi pond even remotely close to a house, that thing's gonna it's gonna be specified in the contract for one, and then two, it's gonna be somehow covered.
You come across many koi ponds in North Dakota?
Like one maybe. I don't know if it was koi or not, but we did some houses out in Southmore that were in a pretty nice neighborhood and had some crazy landscaping.
Oh, that's a good point you make about like the forums and like podcasts and stuff. I mean, like I listened to a ton of podcasts. Like I was just like kind of really in the learning phase at the beginning and just absorbing tons of information.
Yep.
And you kind of like internalize that, you know, and then like I still read every month. I'll like kind of search on Reddit. Like I'll read the subreddit, like real estate investing subs and stay up on like new stuff. But like I'm still learning stuff. But yeah, that's how I learned how to avoid a lot of certain like writing an airtight lease and like books and stuff. I've read a bunch of books. Learning from other people's mistakes is a good way to avoid mistakes.
Yep.
I read through the entire lease for long-term renters and I'll just set the expectation for the whole lease and it would get us on the same page and it's easier to manage, you know. But I learned that from a random book called Landlording on Autopilot or something like that.
Okay.
It was pretty good. But yeah, like to your question, there's a lot of studying and a lot of front loading of education that goes on when you're first starting a business.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when you have the time.
But then you also make a shit ton of mistakes on top of that.
Yep. But yeah, I used to listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos nonstop. Now I don't know the last time I listened to a podcast, honestly. Or
well, you're out there like doing it.
YouTube,
you know.
Do you have any like podcasts, books, or like influencers that you would like recommend people go check out, or not really?
I don't really follow too many nowadays. I guess there's the big ones for real estate. I read books back in the day. Most people probably say it. I think everyone should probably read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Just to understand the concept. I mean, you're not gonna, learn everything you need to know, but it puts the concept of spending your money on property or, investments that will then shoot you off money. You spend that money instead of direct, which I still don't do myself. But
you understand the principle.
I understand the principle and I know I'll do it. I'm just kind of looking for a bigger scale now. But I guess business, I never really listened. I was more focused on like books on real estate and stuff back in the day and podcasts than business. But
there's no substitute for getting out there and just doing the work though. Like, that's the
if you can't get out there and at least get your hands a little dirty trying to work for someone else, you're probably never going to do it yourself. Which is, I don't know. You just gotta start somewhere.
I like that.
And you can always educate while you're on the job too. A lot of like if you're pulling staples, 1,000 staples for like some ripping out old carpet, you can have podcasts.
I used to do that.
Yeah. With that, where can people follow you? Where can they, find you or, Redline Roofing? Where can the listeners that are interested find you?
We don't really have any social medias for the businesses.
So you guys are crushing it and have like no online presence right now.
We had a Facebook for Fargo Star Roofing, but the Redline Roofing is not up yet. I guess my personals are all just my name, Isaac Gabbert, but I don't really post too much on there about business.
You don't have a huge Facebook presence?
Not really.
Oh, no. Instagram. You big on Instagram?
Nope.
You're too busy working.
I'm not a big social media. Yeah, I'm not a big social media guy.
That's probably good. That's probably good.
There's two ways for it now. You're either huge on it or I don't know, some of the biggest players I know in town. I mean, you can't even Google their name and find anything.
Yeah.
And they'll be running the biggest developments in town.
Well, that's the lesson is stop scrolling and go do shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. That's that'd be my advice.
There's a lot of big takeaways, but that's probably the biggest one from this podcast is like, just get out there and freaking do it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Don't overthink it. Don't scare yourself too much.
Let's get out there and do it.
Cool. Yeah. If you need a roof replaced, give Isaac a call. Redline Roofing.
Yep.
Was it you answering the phone or is it like one of your sales guys?
Still me most of the time. I got 2 numbers on my phone now, so it can bounce between. But yeah, it still goes to mine first.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. Fargo, Moorhead, you go out to Jamestown. Like, what's the farthest away you'll go? Like the whole area?
For residential, hour and a half. For commercial, we'll go pretty much in any of the states we're licensed.
Oh, which are?
North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, you don't need a license. We've been looking into getting just surrounding states for.
That's awesome. No, I mean, I can vouch for you. You've done, I think just one roof for me. I'm trying to remember. I think just the one last summer, but yeah, like that.
Seemed to be 2.
Dude, you guys cranked it out. It was a day. It was not even a day. And it was an hour away from Fargo. So like it was.
We do pretty much everything in a day. Even small buildings now we do in a day.
Little humble brag. No big deal.
It's
just a fact. Just no big deal.
Just a fact.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. If anyone needs that or like if they have a real estate deal too, because you're into real estate. Just picked up one today that you're going to wholesale me tomorrow. We'll talk about that later.
You probably like that one. This one.
Okay. Okay. We'll wrap up here and then then wholesale me a
now
deal.
Eric's like, we gotta stop.
See, listener, this is how business is done. You get your old buddy here
live on Millionaire Misfits.
You were gonna say it wrong.
You were gonna say it wrong. I almost did.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. This has been awesome sitting down with Isaac, getting some good insights. And join us next time for another great episode. But in the meantime, thank you for joining us. And
thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
We wish you well. And hopefully this summer is equally as good as your last one.
Yeah.
Or better.
Yeah. Or better. All right.
See how it goes. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
I would listen to like hours. If I'm have a painting day at a rehab I was working on, like 8 hours of painting, 8 hours of podcast.
Yes, yep.
No reason to try to be entertained.
Listen to the same like 8 songs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in my truck so much now that like music, I don't even got into music because I have the radio on too much.